Thirdly, and most tiresome of all, questions. When a person likes another person, do they think I'm attractive? Do they want to hang out with me? Do they? Do they? Do they? Do they? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you? 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 Mysteries solved by humans with degrees from universities and colleges and trainings and seminars and professional certifications about a mind, a self, emotion, and social rules and etiquette with stimulation available as a reward for meeting expectations observed from another person's eyes, ears, and other senses they call consciousness. Now, breaking down psychology for some people can be disruptive with no other explanation. And a cause of most of the confusion and misdirection made by a system with processes for people who do have addictions, disorders, problems with thinking and thought, and emotional difficulty now. But world, in an apartment home or in a civilization in a city, has neuroscience and has learned about neurons and synapses and anatomy with brain and body working together, and a process called consciousness needing energy. Thinking and thought and decision making to have a life similar to a Google, a Microsoft, a Facebook, a technology business, degree holding engineer with a background in computer science and software management now. In other words, lawyers who read and 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 prove truth to prove innocence instead of guilt. Use their intelligence to be leaders in charge of health services and medicine and make policy and planning to treat those they say need assistance and don't explain brain. Don't explain brain and body and no mind, brain and body and world. And especially don't describe examples of mathematics as other parts of thinking and thought to their language supremacy, their decision-making superiority and dominance. Now, they can stare the longest, they can stare the farthest, they can stand the most still. Those who are a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, a counselor, a landlord, a worker of social services, and accomplish their goals saying no words within a system and processes, not needing extra information to confuse their observations about behavior and about truth. Sound of a word, grammar in a sentence, and letters in a paragraph describing why they are in need of being a patient within their professional business. Now, police do the same ritual practice, standing stronger and tougher and more powerful than who they talk to, better trained in de-escalation and with all of the information they need to arrest, to detain, to interview, and to limit and restrict until they're done with their work. And they have freedom to go to their next call now to save those who are in duress and in need of their goodwill, their brilliance and genius. Now, a posture, a police officer human with a gun, a badge, a belt full of tactical items, and a law made for a civilization in a city, in a state, in a country by a government who declares correct, proves wrong, and says what's best for y'all now.